You know that feeling, right? You get to the end of a long day, you finally look up from your computer, and your eyes just feel completely fried. They're sore, they're tired, maybe things are even a little blurry. Well, today we're going to dig into exactly why that happens and talk about a surprisingly simple trick that can make all the difference. I mean, really think about it. Does that feeling hit home for you? That dull ache that settles in right behind your eyes? The one that feels like you've been staring into a light bulb for 8 hours? If you're sitting there nodding your head right now, trust me, you are in very, very good company. And here's the thing. That feeling isn't just you being tired. It has an actual name. It's a real, recognized condition called digital eye strain. And just knowing it's a real thing is the first step, because it tells us there's a real reason for it and a real solution. So what is it exactly? Well, digital eye strain, sometimes called asthenopia, if you want to get fancy, is basically a whole bunch of problems that crop up from using our digital devices for too long. And it's not just about your eyes. We're talking headaches, blurry vision, sure, but also dry eyes and even that stiff neck and shoulder pain. It's this whole body thing that all starts with where we're pointing our eyes all day. And just how common is this? The numbers are absolutely wild. Some studies show that anywhere from 50 to a whopping 90% of people who use computers for work deal with these symptoms. Think about that. This isn't some rare issue. For most of us, it's just a normal Tuesday. It's basically a modern-day epidemic. Okay, so why? Why do our eyes, which are these incredible, sophisticated pieces of biological tech, have such a hard time with these glowing rectangles we put in front of our faces? Let's dive into the science of what's really going on. All right, here is the #1 culprit. When you read a book, the text is made of solid ink with super sharp edges. Your eye can lock onto it, focus, and you're good. But on a screen, the text is made of tiny little dots, pixels, that are brightest in the middle and kind of fade out at the edges. Because there's no hard edge to focus on, the focusing muscle in your eye has to constantly make tiny little adjustments to keep things clear. It's literally forcing your eyes to do thousands of little muscle flexes all day long. No wonder they're exhausted. But the muscle strain is only half of the story. There's something else happening, something you don't even think about: blinking. Let me ask you, how often do you think you actually blink in a minute? Normally, the average person blinks around 15 times a minute. It's our body's built-in windshield wiper system. Every blink spreads a fresh, moist layer of tears over your eyes to keep them clean and comfortable. It's absolutely crucial for good vision. But get this, when we stare at a screen, that blink rate absolutely plummets. It can drop by more than half, down to as low as 5 times per minute. With way fewer blinks, our eyes start to get dry, gritty, and irritated. So you've got this perfect storm. Your eye muscles are working overtime, and at the exact same time, your natural cleaning and lubrication system has basically gone on strike. Ouch. Okay, so we've got a pretty clear problem. Our eyes are overworked and they're dried out. Now, that sounds pretty bad, but the solution is almost laughably simple. It's called the 20-20-20 rule. And here's all it is. Every 20 minutes, you just take a little break for 20 seconds, and you look at something that's about 20 feet away. That's it. When you look at something far away, that little focusing muscle inside your eye that's been working so hard finally gets a chance to relax completely. It's like hitting a reset button for your eyes. But here's where this gets really cool. This little break isn't just for your eyes, it's for your brain too. There's actual research that shows these tiny micro breaks have a huge impact on our ability to think and perform. So this isn't just about feeling better, it's about working smarter. So let's look at the proof. In one study, they had 2 groups. The group that took these little breaks was significantly more accurate on their tasks than the group that just powered through without stopping. They just made fewer mistakes, plain and simple. And it wasn't just about being more accurate. They were faster too. You can see here the break takers had quicker reaction times. It means their brains were just firing more efficiently. Those tiny pauses kept them sharper. And this result is probably the one we can all feel the most. The group that took micro breaks actually reported feeling way less tired and mentally drained. So not only did they perform better, they felt better doing it. That's a huge win-win. I mean, the researchers' own words really say it all. They called these breaks effective cognitive interventions. That's a scientific way of saying this isn't just taking a break. Taking a 20-second pause isn't being lazy. It's a strategic move to keep your brain working at its best. It's a performance hack. All right, so the science is solid. The benefits are undeniable. But let's be honest, there's one massive hurdle:
actually remembering to do it. When you're deep in the zone, focused on a project, the last thing you're thinking about is taking a break. So, how do we make this a real automatic habit? Well, there are a few easy tricks. You can, of course, just set a recurring timer. Super simple. It also helps to decide beforehand what you're going to look at. That tree outside, a picture on the far wall, or you can try something called habit stacking. When your timer goes off, you do your 20-second eye break, and then you immediately do another small habit, like taking a sip of water. You link the new habit to an existing one. Or you can just let technology do the heavy lifting for you. There are a ton of apps and tools designed for this exact purpose. Something like EyeRest for Windows, for example, just runs quietly in the background and pops up with a gentle nudge when it's time for a break. It takes all the guesswork out of it. Look, we live in a world surrounded by screens. That's not going to change anytime soon. But what can change is how we deal with it. We don't have to just accept eye strain and brain fog as the price of admission to the modern world. A tiny 20-second habit can protect our eyes and keep our minds sharp. So the only real question left is, how are you going to make it work for you?